April.
Hi, oi. I believe we are now live because it says live in the top corner, does. I've got my phone up. We'll see if it actually works.
Doesn't say live on YouTube though, Dave. So we're again showing our amateur hour.
I reckon it's on. Got an advert coming up. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you could click the Deliveroo advert, order yourself some grub. I don't actually get anything from that. Don't order food. Oi, we're on. We're live. We've done
Okay,
it.
good, good.
I apologise about the StreamYard logo. They won't accept my payment at the moment, but I'm going to sort it out so we don't have to have that. We are...
old chestnut. They won't accept my payment. So tight. Actually, I've got to send you money for that, haven't I?
No, you ain't. It's an American site, so it takes a little while to do stuff. Right, we've got people live, so thank you for that. I've tried to tweak it a bit. You've obviously seen the last few weeks, it's been a bit amateurish and the sound quality has been poor, but hopefully tonight's be better. I am air traffic control for the evening. Darryl is on brand with the yellow cap, and we are on StreamYard, which means you get a better experience, hopefully. We have a few things coming this week. We'll talk about some punting. Dazzler alluded to a horse last week, and if you guys follow him on Twitter, which obviously you do, you would have seen what he backed. Balls deep. Then we're going to rant. There's a good rant this week. We've only got the one voice rant that I've done. I've edited another little video for it, and we've got a message that comes in. But feel free in the comments sections to be chucking rants out too. We might read up a couple of extras. Then we're going to talk about Punchestown, mate. It starts tomorrow. It's a glorious few days. But then there's a few windy looking races, as our man Kevin Blake would say. So I will touch on that, but hopefully we can touch on every single race day. And again, you guys drop some in the comments about ones you fancy or any questions you got with that. Following on from that, we will go on to the Q&A as per usual. I'll be able to put them up on screen as well. It'll be awesome. So you'll get your name out there and your family will be proud for once. And then we'll do the prize giveaway. Daryl's thrown up 25 quid for the best rant. The vote has now finished, right? So we'll have to see who's won. I mean, you can go on Twitter and have a look if you want to see who's won. But whoever has commented that they voted on the winner of it, one of those people is going to get 25 quid. We haven't picked anyone yet. We'll do it at random. I'll tell you how many. You don't go on Twitter, right? I'll tell you how many people said it, and you pick a number between those two, and that's the person that's going to win 25 quid. Again, feel free to drop that in the comments and see if you can spoof Darren into giving you some money. So, mate, how the devil are you?
Hungover, feeling like death. Decided to quit drinking. That's it. It's me and drinking. Done. We're over for good this time. Not like I'm not like I'm an alcoholic or nothing, but I just don't think it doesn't help me. And it has cost me a few quid this week now. Said to you about That's All Right Gino at Air last week. Really fancied him to go well. Thankfully, he got the job done. But I could not believe he went off at an 8-1 SP. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't. I backed him at 5s. And I really fancied him. And I thought I'd save a bit of cash back, just in case, he has a little drift in the market or whatever. Nope. My mate gets into a bit of a sticky situation with his missus. Gets himself thrown out of his house. Not even a bag of clothes to hand. Not even a bag of clothes, Dave. So gets me, meet me down the pub. I need a drink. Need to have a chat about things. All right, mate. I'll stop what I'm doing for the day. Go down there. In amongst all of his moaning, etc., me listening, I checked the clock and it's 3:05. Then I click on the race. They're showing the replay of That's All Right Gino crossing the line. My missus texts me, boom, great result. Then the SP comes up. That's All Right Gino, 8-1. I could not believe it. Honestly, if he would have 8-1, I would have gone in again. He went 34-1 in running. Like, I could have earned a good few quid on this race, like even more so than we did. My God, I blame him for absolutely everything. Everything. Not myself, him. I blame him. So I'm going to send him an invoice. But, yeah, thankfully he won. You got on, didn't you?
Yeah, I said a good few quid. I got a covered account where I've got £20 deposit limit. I found this with a few accounts, old ones, where I set a deposit limit because a guy in the industry told me that if you have responsible gambling things, this was years back, that you're less likely to be restricted because they'll think if you've got an edge or you're arbing or whatever, you're going to want to be able to get on at short notice. They never up them now. My bet 365 is £25 a day and the Coral one's 20 quid. Anywho, long story short, I deposit money into Corals, and whenever you do the deposit thing, it doesn't automatically place the bet. So I had 40 quid just sat in there. So I had 40 quid on it at 10s when you said in the week, because you said leave it. And I said the money's in the account, so I just went in for it. So, yeah, mate, absolute beaut. And this is the crucial point, right? We're giving you a little insight at the beginning of it. You, like, you're not doing it to be like awkward or anything, like not telling people in advance, but like you want to get a bit of a price and like things could change, but also you don't know what's going to happen with declarations, you don't know what's going to happen with weather and all that sort of stuff. You don't really want to be telling someone you really fancy something a week before, but what you did is right. Highlight the fact that there's one you really like, and you'll let everyone know on the day if it's all good. And you did.
Well, yeah, I just wanted to get my own money on. Really, it was selfish reasons, but
no one's going to complain because you got your money on and it was 8-1, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's it. I couldn't judge the market at all, could I? Got it completely wrong.
We'll keep talking about punting anyway, but just before we do that, the comments are coming through. I love it. I literally love it. Well, I know it's ridiculous. I mean, we have a good number of fans. We've got 36 people that are on live at the minute. That's good. It's going to go up. We're going to be popular, but I love our fans. They're good. Ian Rayner saying, "Look at you boys upgrading to StreamYard." Ian was the one that suggested we do this. Cheltenham Exchange. Yeah. I never liked the icon-y thingy, but we know what we do before. We're normally on Zoom and we're doing streaming software and stuff. It's just too much fannying. So cheers for that, Ian. My favourite one though is Tom. What a boy. I prefer the bad quality videos. Prefer Dave with a pixelated face.
Yes, Tom. Absolutely agree. Do you know, right? Last week, right? Everyone was giving us absolute pelters, right, for the sound quality. Yeah, right. I went out, at the start of last season, and got a brand new microphone. Set myself up all prim and proper so that we wouldn't have these problems. But Dave last week decided to put the terrible audio output on my microphone to make himself look better. Do you want to agree to admit to that, Dave? Do you want to admit to that?
Absolutely. The thing is, the last few weeks I've been using me as the bad quality, but we got the best response we've ever had last week, and I think it's because they could finally hear me. We're gonna wait, mate. We'll talk a little bit more about punting because we've got a lot of things to go through. We haven't got a lot of things to go through. Really. Yeah. I'm just clicking buttons on the screen because I'm liking that at the minute. So obviously you got stuck into That's All Right, Gino. I'll be honest with you, I was oblivious to some of the racing this weekend. It looked okay. I did back your own story in the Scottish National just for the fact that I backed to the start of the season. I thought he could win a race. Yeah, Cliff Horse. Thank you very much for that. But I didn't bother looking. So how did you get on with your other bets and selections and stuff? All good?
Yeah, did all right. Had a little bit on Kitty's Light to win. I thought it was a very fair price, to be honest. 5-1 after the Ida win. I clattered every fence on the way round. Second in the Scottish National last year. Clearly been the target. I thought very fair price, really. I know it's Scottish National, but still went off much shorter than that, I think, for the Ida. So, yeah, had a bit there. Had a winner on Mustazid. Had back 2 in the last at Newbury. Warning Sign was back 10-1. Smashed into 3-1 fav. Withdrawn on the day of the race. I see this so much. I mean, it might just be out of circumstance, right? But I do see this a lot. Horses smashed from big prices, 10-1s, 12-1, 14, even bigger, into short single figure odds, and then all of a sudden a non-runner. And I don't know. I mean, I'm a conspiracy theorist like you when it comes to that sort of thing, but Gary Moore yard, I don't know. Probably unfair to say that sort of thing, but it felt like, they weren't on. But either way, Mustazid won the race, so I fancy 2 in it. So that the other one ran the race at 9-2. So all in all, quite a good day. I didn't go having many extra bets or anything like that. I just sort of was happy with the outcome. Once Gino won, you've sort of made a fair few quid there, haven't you? And you don't really need to have any more bets sort of thing. So yeah, a good solid day and very responsible gambling day, if you like.
I like it. So yeah, what you said there about horses that get withdrawn after they've been back, a common thing in it. Lots of people seem to notice that. Well, it's very fishy. When you see a horse maybe get loose on the flat before the stalls and it's a chance it's going to get withdrawn, you'll see it on the bookies. They'll nibble it in a little bit, and on the exchanges it will drift out. I think everyone knows it's a bit shift, didn't they? I'm sorry, I'm just otherwise engaged on my phone because Tom's just mentioned a horse.
Yeah, I'll be boring you. Sorry, is this show an inconvenience to your lifestyle? What's going on? What are you doing? I think you should tell everyone what you're doing. It's rude.
So what I'll do at the minute, I've put some bets on for Punchestown. So we're talking about punting.
Jeez.
We're going to go on to Punchestown. I'm semi-tempted. There's one. He's mentioned there. You can see the comments as well that are in there. I think we're going to fancy that one. Anyway, we'll get onto it. So yeah, I've had like little bits of bets on some stuff. Obviously, we did all right with That's All Right, Gino. Struggled a little bit with dogs again. I say struggled a little bit with dogs. I did make a few quid, but like I've been again backing dogs that are getting smashed up and they're not winning, and it's annoying me because I keep pricing up cards, and then by default, if the dog's way like too big a problem, like, okay, you know how much I give you crap for looking at your class 5s? I'm doing it on the dogs, so need to nip that in the bud.
definitely.
Are you ready? Are you ready? Like this is what the people are waiting for, right? Before we go on to Punchestown, I'm about to do the rant, and I don't think I'm going to fuck it up this week. So we'll do the rant. We've got one video that's coming up, and then we've got one email that came in with another bit of ranting. I'm also going to try and share the screen when we talk about Punchestown, so you've got some visual effects up there, and then hopefully if it makes my face smaller, it will essentially be pixelated. So rant time. I need to get that hidden off the screen. I'm going to click a button, guys. We're going to get the first audio rant. Please make sure you're liking the video. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you comment below. Honestly, like now, if you want to chuck a little bonus rant in there, go for it. But this week's rant I quite liked because it's a little bit of, I need the sound clip, don't I? A little bit of Twitter trumpet for me, innit? Anywho, without further ado, this week's rant. Who did it come in by? Josh Hall. So Josh Hall, thank you very much for your input. Let's rant it up.
All right, lads. So my rant is about myself. I'm an idiot / just bad luck in general. As we all know, Dave tipped Florida Dreams for the 620. Backed him at a tenner. Backed him for a tenner at 25-1. And I'm watching the Grand National just before. Had a bit on Vanillier, had a bit on Grad Mesnil, had a bit on Noble Yeats. Finished second, third, fourth. I'm absolutely gutted. I mean, since when does the favourite win the Grand National? So I'm sitting there after the race thinking, you know what, fuck this. It's just one of them days. Nothing's going right. I'm deep in the red. I remember my tenner on the 620 and I think, not exactly going to win today, is it? And I cash out. Anyway, we all know what happened next. Cheers, lads. Love the content. Just keep doing what you're doing.
Oh, mate, it's so depressive, isn't it? When like I mean, he should not be cashing out a tenner. Let's get that straight out of the bat there. Don't worry about how much you need the tenner. You know, you should be cashing it out. Just let it run. But it's so frustrating when you make even a sort of alternative decision to the one you originally thought. Do you know what I mean? And then it goes away. It goes astray. But yeah, Dave, come on, cashing out a tenner. Like,
I've been there, but before we get onto that bit, which we will come on to, I just want to say we need to thank Josh. Josh
we do. Sorry, yes, we do.
He was not for sending the rant in. I mean, that's real good. Oh. We've got to thank Josh for cashing out. His luck was shit on that Saturday, and if he hadn't have cashed out, that bumper horse wouldn't have won. So cheers, Josh. I owe you a pint, mate. No, but we've all been there. You know, when you're just getting bad beat after bad beat, or you're like a bit unlucky like that. Second, third, fourth in the national. Like, how would you like on there? But then you do. I've been there before. I've been betting within my means, and then I thought I don't want to chuck another 20 quid in. There's something.
Yeah, but his tenner was already on, Dave. His tenner. No, his tenner was already on. You just got to leave it because you should say to yourself, "Wow, my luck's been that bad today. No, my luck. If I cash it out, I'd probably win. I'll just leave it.
Yeah,
just
true.
leave it."
Like, I would say we've all been
lads. Once they're placed, that is it. They stay on.
But since cash out's been about, you guys will know this as well. drop it in the comments below if you like. Well, if you, I'm sure you have. Lots of people since cash out's been out there have had a bit of a mare and have cashed out a bet just so they can have another bet trying to double their money before the bet they actually wanted. Like loads of people will do. The bookies know what they're doing as well.
Tom Leach says, I've done that with a 66-1 shot a few years ago. Now I never cash out, even if I have to eat super noodles for months. For months. For months.
I've done it with a
super noodles for months.
I mean, I love super noodles. Used to have super noodles on toast with a bit of bacon underneath as well. So top tip there. Muga's got the same as well. Did similar on Friday, adjusting a C2C to save a tenner for the last. Cost me okay, I wish I hadn't put that there. Yes, Wayne Harrison. Maybe you're here. I don't know if you are or not. He's as part of the rants, which actually, to be fair, is quite topical because we'll talk about the email rant that came in. But yeah, like we feel your pain, Josh. It must feel so much better just to get it out though. And that really top quality video edit I've done just paints the picture. Just FYI, that's not Josh on the sofa. He's not that much of a keno that he filmed himself in multiple angles just so I could tear him apart. We got an email in from Jamie Dawson, and honestly, this stuff. If you haven't got your own rant, piggyback on someone else's because I love it. You know, we talked about a couple of weeks ago when Tony Mullins run the horse, didn't he? And the owner was going off about the the ride and all that sort of stuff. And it was popcorn moments. It was quality.
Brilliant.
It's not no one's individual rant apart from the owners, but bring it to the show because we want it encouraged. So Jamie Dawson said, all right, lads, just wanted to highlight Wayne Harrison's ranting in Twitter today with Tim Carroll on the off chance you haven't seen it. The man is unhinged. I'm just need to clarify that. That's Wayne Harrison, not Tim Carroll. Could be either. Anyway, keep up the good work. Love the YouTube videos. I haven't seen it. I haven't been too much on Twitter, but everyone knows what Wayne's like. Hopefully he's tuned in. Hopefully he's set up a few more accounts and subscribed. I mean, some of the way that he goes about stuff, I wouldn't necessarily agree with. On the few occasions where I've had a little bit of back and forth with him, sometimes you get a little bit. I think I've said it for a long time. Like you go back to videos years ago. No, not unhinged. I want him on. We want Wayne. We want Wayne. Get mad. No one knows his profit and loss and that sort of stuff. But sometimes he does get some good old bets in there. I love it when he's bigging up a horse, saying that we know nothing about a horse at the weekend, like a Facile Vega or something, showing all these slips at like 4-1 and 5-1, and then it goes and gets turned over after because it will obviously soon disappear. But at least he doesn't shy away from it. He does tell the horses that he's backed well in advance. So I'm a big fan of Wayne Harrison. Well, I'm just going to quickly check the comments in case anyone's chucked in a little bit. Oh my God, a combination tri-cast, Adrian Meaning said.
Yeah, that's what he was talking about.
Mooga.
I thought the same with what Graham said though. Who's got the money for? If you've got the money for super noodles and bacon, why wouldn't you just buy something different? I'm in total agreement there. Surely you only add bacon to super noodles if you're doing all right, don't you?
It's when when you get the fridge and you just got to sort of clean it out. The bacon was smelling a bit iffy.
It's been out of date. 2 slices left or 1 slice left. Yeah.
Pour some super noodles on top of it so I don't see the mold. It wasn't moldy, but it ended up being tasty. I'm loving the comments. The best thing is they're having conversations. Tom Leach, yeah, definitely with 20p Tesco value noodles. Craig's responded with 20p noodles. They're basically like 30p now. Cash out that. Cost of living crisis. That's going to be up on the itinerary for next week. Right. All right. We've got to move on to Punchestown.
Yeah, we are.
I'm going to catch up with Jamie in the next couple of days so we can get some information from our Irish correspondent about what he fancies. I'm also going to be sharing all of my bets, which I know you guys love. I will give you the sneak preview because you guys are watching this now. So I'll tell you all the bets that I've chucked on for tomorrow as part of what we go through. I'll tell you what a state like I would always will do. I will chuck up a video just so it's all fair and square. Dazzler, have you looked at tomorrow in great depth and have you found some good bets? I
have looked at basically the grade ones over the week. Not looked at, like glanced over. So this won't be in depth as I'd like it to be. But I've had a couple of bets tomorrow. 3 bets have gone up on the column for Punchestown tomorrow. I'll say I've had 3 bets. I haven't had them yet. Obviously, just with the nature of the races, I don't think any sort of movement in the prices is going to happen. So they're sort of around where I want them to be. I can't see them getting much shorter.
Fair enough.
What about you? You feeling horny for someone or?
I mean, I really am. Right, I've moved over to screen sharing. You'll be able to see it better than I can because I can't flick it back and forth. But you see the racing post up there?
Yeah, that's terrific.
Oh, yeah, real terrific. I got excited about a few, to be honest with you. One, I'm like, did you just say the ones that you backed? I wasn't really listening. Or are you making everyone click?
Oh, cheers, mate. No, I didn't know.
Do you want to? Oh, well, do we go for it race by race?
You can see on your screen there that one has definitely moved.
Yeah, night and day.
Yes.
Must be balls deep in that.
Not yet. I am going to be. I thought she was I tipped her last time, pulled up. I thought she was a massive eye catcher. On the inside rail, tanked through the race. That Daryl Jacob tried to take her up the inside, try and make a little bit of a dare move, fluffed the 4th last, still going well, and just dropped out the rear of the field, was very tenderly handled. The fact that they've turned her out so quickly 16 days later, Paul Townend's now jumped on. She'd definitely be for me, but she weren't favourite when I fancied her earlier, so she's now obviously fav, isn't she?
Yeah, but she's sort of 72. There's it's a bit of a murky market, to be honest with you, because I don't think there's much in this race. I looked at her as like a bit of an eye catcher because we obviously didn't go to Cheltenham, did she? She was pulled up the last day, but I you know what I like to read into stuff. When Paul Townend and Daryl Jacob like flip flop on a horse, it always intrigues me. And Paul Townend, I mean, I know like handicaps he does swerve a few. He doesn't just ride races for the sake of riding races. I was looking at the form of this horse even before the Fairy House run, just to try get sort of number of where she might be. And with her skipping Cheltenham and then putting up there, I was thinking, maybe, a couple more runs, she could be one for a handicap later down the line because she's much better than a handicapper. I reckon she's got to be comfortably in the 130s on what she's done. She's
I had her running to 140 when she won at Clonmel. She won by 22 lengths, right?
Yeah.
I had her running to 140. I had her Gaelic Warriors on the same card. She was ridiculously faster than him, like effortlessly faster than him. To clock that sort of time on deep ground there, I thought she must have run into the high 130s to a mark 140. And I think if she runs into that tomorrow, she wins.
I agree.
So,
we're in. We're balls deep. I've backed him anyway. I've all backed her. Sorry, I've had 50 quid on her at 4-1 with Corals. Corals are best odds guaranteed at the time of final decks now if they've got the race priced up. So
we are not sponsored by Corals, by the way.
Oh no, we're not sponsored. But if you do fancy sponsoring us, Corals, then I was about to say go fuck yourselves, but I've said it now. It's just because I had the money in there from your little tippy up there. But yeah, I like Night and Day. It's one of those that if she had have run well at Fairy House, she could obviously be a massive lot shorter, or she might be going for a better tight race. I just think she's much better than these. I think she's an all right price, and there will be some extended places on offer with the bookies. Not that I'm that way inclined. So I've had 50 on Night and Day. She'd be the nap of the first day. Arguably, even with the price as well. I think she's one of the strongest bets of the week. Anywho, Champion Novice Hurdle after the Grade 1. It's a windy looking division, full stop, I would have thought. Diverge obviously did run well at Cheltenham. We're still behind Faso Vega, but I don't know. Has he really progressed that much? Because he was a wide margin winner the time before. So I don't know. So I think it's hard to get a handle on how good he was. So I don't know if he's on such a steep curve as like a few nibble in the market might suggest. I personally just think that Faso Vega will win this, but I also wouldn't be shocked if Faso Vega got beat. So it's a no play, although I have chucked Faso Vega in a little muggy acca. So I'll mention the rest of those legs later. What do you see it as?
Yeah, I will back Diverge. I just think that Vassal Vega. Do you remember the talk at Cheltenham? The talk was all about it's going to be a massive training performance to get him to perform in the Supreme, to get him to go and win the Supreme off the back of that disappointing run at Leopardstown, where he had an excuse. I think he was laying for a few days afterwards. I just think that might be the reason to take him on because he put in such a performance at Leopardstown on that short turnaround. I think that might have just left a bit of a mark on him. I don't know if you remember going back to this meeting last year. He obviously won the champion bumper and then came in. He was absolutely all out to hold off Redemption Day. He made the run in then. I think that they may change the tactics on Diverge because we know that Faisal Vega can be a little bit free, can't he? And they've been looking for a lead for him. I just think that they might change the tactics on Diverge because I think I'm right in saying that Diverge, did he make all the running? He made all the running, didn't he, back in January? I think he might go forward and try and make all the running. And I don't think there's that much between them on that Supreme run, given the sort of ground that Diverge had to make up from the rear of the field. Gave Faisal Vega plenty of rope, coming down a third last. I just wonder if the sort of reverse of tactics for Diverge now to go out in front, going back to the scene of that romp he managed in January, think he just might be able to reverse the placings with Faisal Vega. I do think that Founder 50, I think they're taking a little bit there with 21. I think that's getting borderline. Like, I'm going to have a couple of quid on him because he obviously weren't right at Aintree last time. That definitely wasn't him. And maybe it was the first time he had travelled. Maybe it's a bit of that. Maybe going back to Ireland, he'd be a bit happier. So I think 20 the one's taking the piss a bit for him. So, but Diverge would be the main bet in the hope that he is going to make all the running. And I think if he lines up promptly and goes to make all the running, I think they'll drop his price immediately on the exchange. So I'm gonna hopefully get 7-2 about him tomorrow. But he's gonna be my player in the race, mate.
I can see it, but again, like I touched on,
you feel like you ain't done enough work on this race now, don't you?
no, not in the slightest. I know, like I said about the upward trajectory. Like I don't think he's a better horse than Faisal Vega. I know there's not much to find at Cheltenham, as the prices would say, but this isn't the type of one where I'd be pricing up to try and get stuck in. So it isn't the case. But if they were 6-4 joint favourites, you wouldn't be backing Diverge, would you?
Probably not. No, probably if they were 6-4 joint favourites, then Founder 50 would be about 50-1. So I'll probably back him.
I could price up, couldn't it? But I just I'd swerve it myself, swerving it just for the sake of swerving it. Handicap hurdle after this. There is one that I've backed, but I've just backed it to follow him from Cheltenham. You know how much I love Simon Torrens. I've backed to KO, 25 quid on him. So mention that because I've had a bet on him, but I mean, there's not much more than the fact that I don't believe his run at Cheltenham was true, and I think he's got a bit of a squeak still. What do you make of him, or what do you make of the race?
He was like kicking and bucking like a donkey, wasn't he? Like, did you see him over the first few? Oh, that was just horrendous to watch. That was if you're back to KO at Cheltenham. I won't be following. I won't be following him. 4-year-old against his elders, big field handicap, 6-1. Not for me, really.
Fair enough. I just wanted to mention because I have a couple of good on him. I just think the fact he hasn't got to travel, I do think he's got he's off the regional weekends, farms, or just not even Punchestown, just farms everything. And he's an absolute boss. Champion Chase. I mean, it's not like it is. It is actually quite a good race given the 2-mile chase we've got on offer. There is Sandown this weekend, isn't there, where we might see John Bond versus Grenadine. So that could be potentially interesting. We'll come on to that a little bit later. This race within here, right? Like, Energumene was pretty impressive to me at Cheltenham. So I cannot see beyond him. He is like the price that he should be. I don't see anything upsetting him, but he's still one of those that I wouldn't be completely and utterly shocked if he did go and get beat. I'm not the sort of guy who's going to start steaming in on him, but he has gone in with Facile Vega in the muggy fourfold. Any bit of value in there you can see away from him?
No, not really, to be honest. Shackle Boursois ran well over 3 miles, I thought, last time. But no, I wouldn't want to be taking him on, mate. It feels like at this time of the season, a race like this, like how can you make a strong case for Blue Lord, or like, do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. You're just a bit sick of seeing these sort of races, I think, by now. But I am personally. And I think Energumene just take all the beating money. Someone did mention Gentleman to me in the comments. We should probably have a look at, Dave.
I mean, if I go back to the screen, does it pick it up?
He said, "What's the going? If it wasn't too soft, I'd stick Gentleman to me with the fav in with a fav." Obviously, talking about I don't know if he's talking about a forecast or whatnot. He's a bit of a nutter, Gentleman to me, and he goes well in the spring.
I don't trust the run last year either. But I know it's like his best piece of form is one race like I don't necessarily trust. I do think when you touched on Shackle Boursois there, like if I will be watching the race and it's perfect time of day stuff, isn't it? I will end up having a few quid on Shackle Boursois on the exchanges just for the fact that surely for a bit of the race he'll look like he's going okay. So I reckon I might be able to have like a score on him or 25 quid at like, I don't know, 40s or 50s on the machine, and I'll be able to lay him at 10 points short and have a little free roll. But Energumene goes wins. There's a bumper after where barely anything's even run. I haven't gone in any depth to look at breed or anything like I might do for some of these bumpers. I've just left it all alone. So you got anything to say on that?
Nope.
Good. We've got the Champion Novice Chase. This could be, for me, one of the races of the day, purely for the fact, right, I can see I've got the top price on it. I don't even know if this is the top price. I normally show best prices on Punchestown. This is my third bet for the Tuesday. I've backed for Onley. It was 10 to 1 when I backed him. I had 25 quid on that. That ran against Backerson. The nuts thing is this horse was behind a Dream to Share in a bumper in February. Like, they've gone bumper hurdles, that like an actual open chase. Then they've gone the novice chase. I don't even think I need to sell it that much, because I think most people look at the same sort of stuff, right? That appreciate it's got enough questions to answer now, and throwing him up in trip. Yes, he might be that he wants to trip, but he didn't really suggest it when he stepped up the last time. Like, I don't know. I still think he's a 2-miler personally, but I just don't think he's as good as maybe we thought he was going to be. Or he's bound to be regressive anyway. He's old. Classic Getaway. I'm just not sold on the horse, but there has been support for him. The fact that Paul
slow, isn't he? So slow.
But I can see why he could be fancied, and I can see why he's about the price that he is. But he's a boat. He hasn't got enough experience for me, and I'm saying that with Onley, that hasn't obviously run that much. But Classic Getaway doesn't have as much experience for his age, for reasons that I don't think are by design. Whereas this Onley, the fact they're rapidly trying to get him over fences to do bits, I think they've seen it's a weak enough division, and they've had this in mind. James de Burley was just so poor at Cheltenham that can't forgive it. He was a horse at one point when people were saying that he could be won at a trip. So the fact that he was a shorter price than this was just annoying me. Journey with me looks all right, and probably maybe deserves to be favourite on like current form. But then when you think about it, he won a grade 3 the last day, and he might be like a deserved favourite of a grade 1. Just makes you show that the other ones in and around him in the market can't really be that good. Sir Gerhard's a non-stayer for me still, and he just jumps absolute like a spaz. So I do think this for only when he was 10-1, like I think it's a bet. You could probably look at this race because there's like the 6 runners in there. You could just make it 5-1 in the field and just say that you could run it 6 times. You might actually get a different result every single time. So it was a bit pricey, but I don't know. I've had a go on. I've had 25 quid on that. Have you had a bet in it?
Not yet. We'll do. Journey with me. I just think I think Rachel Blackmore's going to make the run in, and I just think that the door's open for improvement at 3 miles. I just think he's sort of one paced, and I just think he'll stay. I think he'll stay well. I thought if he wouldn't have fell in that Ballymore that Sir Gerhard won, I think he would have been staying on behind Sir Gerhard there. Maybe not having the turn of foot that Sir Gerhard's got, but I do think 3 miles will bring out a bit of improvement in him for me. Look, I'm with you. I think Sir Gerhard's a complete non-stayer at 3 miles. I don't think Appreciate It even. I just don't think he wants 3 miles. I think they're at a loss with him. I think there's a few horses they've got in this division that they're just sort of like throwing up in trip and just going, let's just see what happens. Really, I don't like James de Burlay. I've never really taken to him, to be honest. I think he's one of them horses that's probably been over bet and over egged quite a lot in his career. Since, I mean, people are still talking about that French champion hurdle win, God knows how many years ago. Ferrenly, I'm with you. I think is interesting. I just think it's a big ask. Like a big ask. And I know he ran really well on his chase debut behind Bakusan last time. But I do question that Chacon Poursoir was third over 3 miles. Like, I know Chacon Poursoir is a classy horse, but I do just question that. This has turned out 16 days later, so it's a slight concern for me. Classic Getaway is a bit of an unknown. Off 150 days, probably wants deeper ground than this. Not got a smart turn of foot, really. He's a plodder. I mean, I liked him at one point, but I remember I liked him actually for the Albert Bartlett. The more and more work I did on him, right? Going through every individual race, every speed figure, every sectional, just the more and more I thought he does not match the price tag that they bought him for. Like, they spent a lot of money on him, and it just nothing added up to him being of that caliber, and there was no sort of anything in any runs that had the potential there to beat. Do you get what I mean? I just think they might have got a bit of a dud with Classic Getaway, in all honesty. So I'm just hoping that Rachel Blackmore keeps it simple, sets good fractions out the front end, and just is hard to peg back, really. But yeah, it's tough race, really, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's the thing. It probably is tough from a punting perspective. And like I said, I found weaknesses in others more than the strength in the one that I've backed.
Exactly.
But I do think it could be quite an interesting race. It could be a good watch. It's giving me the album photo vibes. You know, when he ran out and there was just all carnage in there. Like I could see something being marked, like Sir Gerhard's gone like 30 lengths clear and then just throws in a real bad jump, and then I don't know. I could see it being an exciting race. You watch it, it'll be an absolute ball fest now, won't it? There's some, like we've already said, like windy enough racing. I'm going to try and speed up and skim through some of the ones. If I'm skipping anything where you fancy something, just let me know. Bumper towards the end of the day as well is like a one that, again, where I do like to go and look at the breed. I do like to try and find something out. But my normal tactic will be just look at some of the more fancied trainers and what they're sending out, and then see if I can get some breeding within them. So I haven't given this race justice to go through it. So leave it there.
Yep. Leave it at.
Yes, right. Let's get on to Wednesday. Right, we've got final declarations for Wednesday. We'll touch on some of the other ones, like maybe we'll get into Thursday, things like that. But to be fair, and we'll only talk about the ones if you really fancy something. Like I said, I'm going to catch up with Jamie, so we'll do it more justice. And I don't want to just turn this into a Punchestown preview because I've got some more content to shove out, and I want some more ad revenue. Yeah, there's another handicap hurdle that looks like a race where you could try and get stuck into something. But when you have these series like the finals of handicap, and when they're rated in this sort of band, I've got no idea who's trying, when they're trying, whether they're actually trying, whether they've got any ability. And I say to you, didn't I? Anything that's under like 135 is probably not really trying his best. It's a race.
You said that, right? Anything that's rated under 130, you could probably pick out of a field and train to win a race. Something like that, didn't you?
Probably. It does sound like something I would say. The race after though, I'm probably not going to bet in this race, but the main reason I'm not going to have a bet is because I kind of fancy Free Card Bragg, and I feel like I'm a mug for fancying Free Card Bragg because I've like crabbed him a few times basically. I just don't think he's as good a horse as some people give him credit for. But then again, there's the other horses that are in here like Nookie Johnson and Sandor Clegane. I don't think they're very good either. So I think, like, if you were to look at the ratings in there, you would say there's a few horses in with a chance, and Sandor Clegane would come out on top. I think Free Card Bragg at this trip, I think he would be the one to play. But he's only about 2-1 poke. I still don't think that's a terrible price. That senior chief for Rachel Blackmore and Henry de Bromhead, we still haven't seen he's not as exposed as some of the others, is probably the best way to put it. So he would be like potential fly in the ointment. But if I was gun to head having to have a bet on this, I'd bat Free Card Bragg, but I can't bring myself to do it because I've just got some sort of weird thing against him. You got any opinion in the race? Are you backed anything?
I just don't like Free Card Bragg. I just think he's a horse that's going to sort of be disappointing when at the end of the season, at the start of next season. I can see this horse just disappointing so many people so often. No, I've got no strong opinion in it. I haven't really looked at the race, to be honest, but I thought Sandor Clegane would probably be the one just on a quick glance.
Happy days. Next race though, the Louis Fitzgerald Hotel Hurdle. I've set up my alert until I'm desperate to see what first price they give us. Grange Clare West could be one that they price up ridiculously short, and then it means that I don't know, there could be some value elsewhere. I'm basically alluding to the fact that I want to get stuck into Grange Clare West, which is a bit mental, right? Because there's been a little bit of underperforming from this horse, full stop. But I still can't get away from the fact that this horse definitely has ability. And in a race like this, I just think he is the best horse in the race. Whether he's going to ever show his full potential or not, I don't know. But Willie Mullins is the trainer to get these horses, get the best out of them, isn't he? Paul Townend, like I said before with the night and day stuff, he isn't just going to ride a horse for the sake of riding it. Willie's got plenty of other jockeys that are out there. I think Grange Clare West interested enough. It isn't obviously based on more recent form, even though the runs in those graded races probably still are better form than some of the other horses have got in here. But yeah, he's one. Grange Clare West, I'd be interested to see the price. You liked him at the beginning of the season as well. Is he one that you've got an eye on for this, or are you leaving him alone now?
Yeah, no, of course I've got an eye on him for this. I can't. It's all right if he had one run where he looked decent, for example, that Firm Footings run where he's absolutely hacked up. But then he's got his point form to back it up. I don't know. Then you sort of just look at a bit of bounce factor, don't you, for the run at for the run of the Lawlers and Nation. I remember he went off Fav for that over Champ Kylie, Irish Point. It's turned out to be a pretty decent field. I think most things that have come out of that have run well at Cheltenham, even, even your Affordable Fury was behind him that day. And then it was just too bad to be true, wasn't it, at the DRF? I don't know. Maybe he's just needed more time. Maybe it's a bit of a shock to the system coming back and sort of running second time back from a long layoff. I don't know. I don't know. There was something clearly not right with him, was there? So in that sort of instance, then you are drawn back to that horse. So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be giving up on him just yet.
No, and it's a good opportunity for him as well, because he will need the fourth run to get the handicapping mark, especially if he was coming over here to running something. So they were never going to get that done in time for Cheltenham. Had it not been the new rules, he might have been one of those that Willie might have stuck into a race. And when they go and win a handicap and you think, oh, they were quite good before. But the conditions of this race, you can't finish second or third, I think it is, in a grade 1 or grade 2. So potentially he might have been ready to go Cheltenham, Aintree, Fairyhouse or something. And Willie knows what to target a race, didn't he? The owners obviously aren't going to give a crap about prize money, and it may just be a case of getting a win on the board or getting some confidence into the horse. So I'll be keen to see what they price him up at. I haven't really done a tissue to work out what price I want to get stuck in at. But let's just say they went something stupid and they priced him up at 2-1 or 5-2. I wouldn't even have to do the race. I'd just get stuck in knowing that was wrong. Probably going to end up being open up as a 1-2 or 1-3 favourite. So we'll have to see, won't we?
Surely not. Surely not.
The Irish Beer and Novice. I reckon they'll make him stupid short, but we'll have to see. That's what I need to get the tissue done. But I will be telling you guys what my bets are for each day. I can touch back on that one after. We'll have to see. What would you be happy to get stuck in on him on?
9-4. 9-4.
There we go. Well, and I feel like we might. Yeah, we might get like some 2-1-5-2s. We're in around the same point. Anyway, we'll see, won't we? The Irish Mirror Novice Hurdle. You've already talked about. I was excited about him. Didn't go and win, and I didn't play it the smartest. Do you think he's a real good horse? I have a tiny, and again, it's a nuance that probably doesn't need to be there. I have a bit of an annoyance why Danny McMenamin's going over there to ride him, and that's like his only ride. He's back over in, I think he's at Ayr or something the day after. I don't understand that in the slightest. It's not to be rude to him. It's not like he's the best jockey in the world, and it's not like he's got previous with his horse, as far as I'm concerned. So, just seemed a little bit of a strange booking. And Gaelic Warrior going right-handed. He's running the Ballymore was decent, to be fair to him. I think the step up in trick won't be a problem to Gaelic Warrior, and I do feel like I do feel like he could probably be the one to go and beat. But he's priced accordingly. I just don't think there's any GP difference. So I'm not backing in this race other than Gaelic Warrior went in my muggy fourfold. You having a bet?
I'll be laying Gaelic Warrior, that's for sure. If he's still odds on tomorrow, on Wednesday. I don't think he wants 3 miles at all. Jesus Christ! I think it was a great second, obviously in the Ballymore, brilliant second behind Impere Pass, but Impere Pass smashed him to bits. Like, I didn't think he was crossing the line, looking like a 3 miler in the making to me. I'm hoping the fact that he's going back right-handed is going to make him shorter price than what he should be. I don't entirely believe his rating still of 152. Certainly not 152 rated over 3 miles. I think he was ridden to run well in the Ballymore rather than to win. And yeah, I'd definitely be taking him on over 3 miles. I'm not entirely sure who with though, so I'll probably just lay him.
I think that's fair, to be honest with you. He's one of those as well, especially with 9 runners, 3 places up for grabs. If he doesn't get the trip and he does jump bad, could even be placed late at the price, couldn't he? I do think he'll stay, and I agree with you. I don't necessarily trust his rating, but I just think he's £10 better than anything else in this race anyway. And I just think that correct, but I don't see any reason why he wouldn't stay. More than the fact that I agree with it. Like, he might not be exactly crying out for it, but I don't see any reason why he wouldn't stay. So that's why he's in that little muggy acca.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but you are up against horses like Favreau de Champdu, who will stay, Salvador Ziggy, who will stay, Affordable Fury, who will stay. So how does he win, or how does he place without staying in this race? Because they're not going to want to go a half speed for him.
No, I'm with you on it. I will allude back to the Stayers Hurdle where we were like both said it, but the Royal Kerhouse, French Dynamo, that's the wrong one. Tiapu.
Yeah.
There was a question mark about his down in there, but then it proved that it wasn't something to be worried about. And that's why I get with you here. Like, he's too short a price to be necessarily getting stuck in. I chucked him in the muggy acca. We've spent too long talking about Gaelic Warrior. Let's get over him. What else can we get stuck into on Wednesday? Well, it's the Punchestown Gold Cup. Galloping de Champs just absolutely bolts home. Is there anything you can look at for like an in or an edge or some sort of bet to? I don't know if they're doing markets without or not. I'm disappointed, to be honest with you. I know Galloping de Champs miles clear of anything else anyway. Envoy might want 3 miles. Brave Man's Game obviously ran so well at Cheltenham, but Galloping de Champs just done everything at half speed. Just bolts up, did he?
Yeah, Hewitt without Galloping de Champs would be my bet in this.
But the ground must have to be a bit of a worry, because he only does soft now, and if there's any more rain, then he's a good ground horse, isn't he?
I don't know, is he? No, I won't worry too much about that. I thought he went through the race at Cheltenham really strongly. Like, they went a good clip. He was towards the front of affairs. Like, he came over that third last. He was still swinging on the turn for home, and then they swamped him a little bit. Coming that he had a shorter room on the rail. I don't know. I just think 22-1. Like, surely. So they're basically saying this is a rematch, aren't they, between Galloping de Champs and Brave Man's Game? But that was Brave Man's Game, one target all season. Now he was tempted to run Brave Man's Game at Aintree to step in for Thingy. Like, and now they're running him here. He's been sold, hasn't he? From John Dance has sold his 50% to get him to go and run here, but. I don't know. I think it's a bit of a question mark him coming over here to Ireland. It's the first time he's travelled, isn't it? As far as I'm aware.
Yeah, Galloping de Champs will just win, wouldn't
he? Yeah, Galloping de Champs will win. But I'm just saying, Hewitt without, I think you'll get a decent price. without galloping the jumps.
Yeah, can't argue because Fast or Slow and Fury Roads, it shouldn't be anywhere near there being good enough. So probably a fair point. We have got the Grade 1 bumper though. A Dream to Share did go and do it at Cheltenham. It's for me's in the race, but Jodie's riding. Patrick's gone for Tully Hill, right? This is a race where King of Kingsfield got tipped up at the beginning of the season by Josh on Let's Talk Racing, right? And I could see the end got well back. He was into 7-1 favourite at some point. This is the sort of thing, like when I backed Six Shooter a few years back at Punchestown, it wasn't this race, but I don't think it was this race anyway. No, it wasn't the proper Grade 1, it was another one. But anyway, like this is the type of thing where you might find like a Gigginstown more stamina-laden horse that could go okay in a bumper. He was 20-1 when I last, so I don't know if he's if he has been bigger. I can imagine that he may be fairly, well, potentially could be popular. I think that it's not a race that I want to have a bet in, but I will probably be looking at King of Kingsfield. Like if he stays 20s or bigger, or I can get something like that, I'll back him on the exchange with the view to probably lay him out. You're going to get some money on anything in the bumper, or
yeah,
not one you want to get stuck into?
I'll have a couple. I'll have a couple of more quid on it for me. See how we go. I just thought he was given a shocker of a ride by Paul Talon in that bumper. Just thought he was hung right out the back. Was given loads to do. I thought the ground probably went against him. I'm just willing to take another sort of chance on him at 7-1. I think that's more than fair, really. So I think he's a speedster, isn't he? So I think this track will probably suit him. That sort of sharp. There's a sort of sharp turn into the home straight here, isn't there? Yeah, it wouldn't be a massively confident bet, but I will have a couple of quid on him, see if he can put that run behind him at Cheltenham and come good.
Yeah, fair play. And that's the thing with it. I look at it. I know like Jamie Codd's got the choice of the horses to ride, so he could have gone on King and Kingsfield. But I look at the race seeing that the Dream to Share does deserve to be the favourite, but short and like didn't win with bundles, and I don't think at Cheltenham. But we'll see. He probably could go and win it. Tully Hill, because it is Patrick riding him and it's Willie, like bound to be short. But there is the 9 runners. It's almost like the dead 8 for good each way money. So there is going to be third place up for grabs. And there's a few in here that I just don't give much of a chance to. So be a good race to watch for the future going forward. Handicap chase, Grade A, so basically their top class handicap. Is there anything in there that you like the look of, or not?
No, not for me, mate.
I don't. Yep, same. Then we've got the Mares Flat Race, where Fun is running with Patrick Mullins on board. She was another one that was very disappointing at Cheltenham. I will be looking to see what sort of price she opens up as well, because I think she'll obviously be popular. The depth in behind this like field isn't there. Like I just don't think there's anything in behind really. So it's just her race to lose. Probably will be priced fairly short, but I do think because there is the 13 runners in there, we might get some odds against. Well, we should definitely get some odds against off that Cheltenham run. So fun will be one I'll be back in, but maybe I'm being similar to you and I'm just trying to get some money back from Cheltenham.
Yeah, fair enough. That's fair enough. We all do it this time of year. You spend so much time putting into those Cheltenham runners that, like I say, if I'd have stuck with 3 of them that lost at Cheltenham for me, I would have had 3 more winners at Antry. So you do have to follow them through to a degree.
Definitely do. Right. We'll leave Punchestown there unless you want to mention any bets for Thursday, Friday, Saturday you're interested in, or do you want to leave it and guys can go check that out on your GG column?
Should we talk about John Bond quickly on Saturday?
John Bond versus Grenadine. We can. I'm going to stop the sharing. It's going to go back to me and you. I don't know on the I haven't got a banner for this. Is my only problem. So do you know what I'll do? I'll chuck it up as a rant. Go on, rant away about John Bond running in the celebration chase at Sandown.
No, I'm not ranting away. I'll tell you what, we'll rant at actually a little bit of is and he grinds my gear every single year. To be honest, right? It's Frankie Dettori. Like, gee, like
how have we started a sentence with John Bond and ended it having to go at Frankie? Right, go on.
Because John Bond gets me wound up, so it's led me to think about something else that I was wound up about. And Frankie Dettori's, like, I see so many people on Twitter and so many people all the time. Oh, Frankie's on. Jesus, like, as a punter, I just don't think he's a friend to the punter. Like, I haven't done for the last couple of years. He was obviously very good, you know, a few years back, you know, and no disrespect to him in terms of what he sort of achieved and everything like that. But as a punter, you want to see your horse given every chance to win a race. You go and look at his rides across the card at Newbury. Jesus, right? If you'd backed Lone Eagle on Saturday at Newbury, Jesus Christ, you'd been absolutely livid, I think, because he's pretty much made the running, right? He's come into the home straight. He's done his normal thing, right? He gets down in that low position, which drives me insane. and he just nudges away like this, right? No, this is my Frankie Dettori, yeah. Nudge, 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 nudge. Everything swarms him, right? And that's it. He gives up, right? But on Lone Eagle on Saturday, and bear in mind, I didn't back Lone Eagle, but on Lone Eagle on Saturday, he's dropped about 5 lengths off those that have picked him up. He's then pulled his stick through, give it one tap, and he's gone back to his old, like this, right? Like this. And then the horse is actually, because the horse finds plenty for pressure. I mean, we're talking about a horse that he did ride in the Irish Derby to come from, did he come from miles off? No, he tried to steal the lead there, didn't he? But this is a horse that's found plenty for pressure throughout his career, right? And some horses, obviously, as you know, will find more for pressure. But if you just nudge them down the net, they ain't going to do half a yard for you. He's then give it another tap, and he started to run on again. And it makes me laugh all the time, right? Because ITV won't have a bad word said about Frankie, yeah? No one commenting on the race will ever say a bad word about Frankie. But that was a shocking ride on Lone Eagle on Saturday, right? I feel sorry for anybody that backed that horse. And do you know what they said? Oh, Lone Eagles ran on nicely at the finish. He's ran on nicely because he's actually asking for pressure once horses have gone 6 lengths clear of him. Like, if he'd have asked him for that pressure immediately, you'd have had a better run for your money. Honestly, it does me every single season with him. And he's the type of rider that you look at and you think, he's only here for the big days. Obviously, this is his last season. He's only here for the big days. He's only here for the big group ones. So don't ever back this lad in a handicap or anything, because you're just going to do your nuts. And not only are you going to do your nuts, but you're going to be furious at the way that you've done your nuts, because that's just the way he rides. And like he rides like he's just riding them out on an afternoon. Honestly, I just wanted to say I feel sorry for anybody that backed any of Frankie Dettori's rides across Saturday's cards, because you deserved a good bit better. And there was one horse he came very, very close to winning on, and that was a horse called Astrodame in the maiden in the 420. And again, if he would have given everything he gave in the final third of the race, 200 yards before that, he probably would have won. But because he didn't, and he looked like he was going to give up, then, he's just wound a lot of people up. Guess what? Guess who's turned up? Guess who's rocked up in the comments?
Wayne.
Wayne.
Go on, the boy. Right, we'll get on to Wayne. Just before he comes in, we'll give him a few more comments if he can. With Frankie, right, he's getting on a bit, isn't he? So probably fatigue his reserve a little bit. But one thing I will say is, this is just a question, just because I know you're wound up about it in a minute. Yeah. Say whatever, he's riding in that race, right? And when they've gone and kicked clear, and then he should have gone early. In that split second, would you ever think that he's smart enough to think, oh, bollocks, I've just missed that? So rather than ride and trying to catch up and then be never nearer and almost expose the race, he's maybe held on to him thinking, we're just saving for another day, finish the race, go off, tell the connections, I balls that one up. I didn't want to ride him to show it. I've hidden it a little bit.
How many times do you reckon he's gone to connections? If you just had to guess and said, I balls this up, how many times do you reckon? Or do you reckon that he's gone back to connections and say, yeah, he'll come on for the run?
Yeah, or he said this horse is an absolute dog. He's useless. Put blinkers on. There's something wrong with him. He's playing the horse, isn't he?
Anyway,
we got him in. We're in. Come on. Let's give the guy the credit that he deserves. Wayne Harrison, everybody. Little ripple of applause if you don't mind. Never placed a bet in your life. Keep it real, Daryl. What do you have on the 100 to 1, 5 each way, claiming you be the man? You bet on my only post markets. What's your tipping? Because if I don't like you, I'll reduce your returns, which is fair. Which is good, but we've got this. If I like the same horse, which is rare, I collect. So Wayne's there. Blogger, my ass. Bet. I love this. Blogger, my ass, my bets. You on Twitter, you div. My ass, my bets. I don't know.
You have to start being a bit clearer, mate. We're interested in what you got to say.
Genuinely, it's not even a joke. He pulls out some good stuff. And the good thing is he's been about for so many years, isn't he? He's the sort of person that if he was doing his spods, he wouldn't be about anymore. So I like him. We want part of it, Wayne. We want the information given up to us so we can make our own educated decision. Can you ask that bloke to turn his camera around? Because I'm cringing. Oh, he's done. Brilliant. Fantastic. Shall we? Oh, I think we need to move on. I don't even know how long I get to live stream while it's a freebie. Might only be an hour, but we need to get the prize giveaway done and we need to do Q&A. So it is against order. If you want to chuck some questions in, I'll do them. But we've got to get this prize giveaway done. So I've clicked that button at the bottom. The banner of prize giveaways up. Darren has kindly put up £25. He voted for the winning vote T on the Twitter poll we ran. So just to make that a little bit clearer, we put a tweet out and then people voted, and then whoever won the vote, whoever voted for those people gets a chance to win. Anyway, Daryl, I'm going to quickly go through the comments now. I'm not screening, I'm not sharing the screen. I'm going to tell you how many, when I scroll down, people commented that they tipped or they picked Anti-Post Shrewds, because it was Anti-Post Shrewds with the Twitter trumpet that won the vote. It got 40% of the votes, Dazzler. It was well clear. Sharjah came third. I can't believe that Sharjah lost it. I thought Sharjah was a winner. Anywho, I'm quickly counting them up now. We've got one. Ooh, and he's mentioned him. I don't know if he's done them. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. How good is this for content? Watching Dave struggling to count to 6.
Oh no, it's tremendous.
7. But the 7th was a typo. But I mean, you got to pick a number between 1 and 7.
3.
Let's go back. 1, 2. Are we right on the count? Am I including the person that mentions it and then talks about I'm taking price?
Why are you dragging this out? Just pick number 3.
Because it's got Anti-Post Shrewds talking in there. So now there's 2 people that might do it. He didn't say he picked it, so I'm ignoring Gareth, which means Philip Murphy. And he also put the hyphen in there. Anti-Post Shrewds. Philip Murphy, who's Mambo Murph on Twitter. You have won the 25 quid. So I'm going to quote tweet that. I'm going to @Daryl, and then we'll DM or something to get you 25 quid on whatever you fancy, boy. If you're in the comments now, let us know, and then I don't know, subscribe and like the channel, and thanks for the support. Let's go back onto the Q&A. We will keep doing the prize giveaways. Please do keep sending the rant in. So it's rantingandracing1@gmail.com. I love them, right? So we'll be able to do a little bit of editing. The more we get from you guys, the better. And now we're StreamYarding it, and we've got better quality production that's going to go out there. A, it'll be better, and B, I promise you this is going to happen, right? If we get enough people voting in, Daryl and I are going to do we're going to have this show, so it's a live phone-in. We will be live on YouTube. We will have a telephone where we will queue some calls, and you can do it like the old days. Phone like live and kicking, all that sort of stuff on your Saturday morning. The big breakfast. Get all those bad boys out. Ernie and Bert. I mean, I don't think you could phone them, but I just want to say Ernie and Bert. We will be doing like live phone-in, so you guys will be able to speak to us if you want to do that. We can do video stuff if we want anyway, but for the time being, voice notes, so easy. Do it as a video if you want. Do whatever you want. Just email it into rantingandracing1@gmail.com. We've got Punchestown going this week, right? There's got to be some dodgy stuff to wind you up in there. And if you've watched an hour of this video, we must have done something for you to rant about. So no holds barred. Do what you want. Right, Q&A. Have we got anything in the comments, or has everyone just left it?
Well, I think a lot of people are asking if Wayne Harrison's going to come on or not. Like that's a question
right.
for Wayne. Like you're more than.
I'm setting this up, Darren. I'm setting this up.
What are you setting up?
Wayne has said that we can't afford him. Okay. I'm setting up a GoFundMe.
I changed American Rascal odds Norfolk this morning while the country couldn't, and I took out 10s Dysart Enos Met. What?
So basically, what Wayne's done here is he fancied American Rascal for the Norfolk. He's backed it, and he's the one that's moved the market.
Okay, Wayne.
No, he does. He does, especially some of the bets that he puts on. The betting slips that he puts out that are legitimate betting slips. If he's into a William Hill, right, and he's getting 200 quid, 400 quid on horses, but he's getting a handful of those slips on, it would be enough. I'm not even joking. I've been to there's a Ladbrokes near me where the guy doesn't understand betting at all. He's always just on the roulette machine. I thought he was playing the demo play. I've got to put this back to Rant and I thought he was playing the demo play. He's literally chucking his own scores in there. Well, I think it's his own. He might be getting it from the till. I asked him questions about horses. This is when I wanted to back Ranting last season versus Nube Negra. And then he said to me, what's the celebration chase? Is it something to do with the Queen? And I was like, oh, you're taking the mick. And then I asked him to back the horse. He said, you won't get that much on here. And it was 250 quid I wanted to have on. And I was like, okay, well, how much can I have on? And he said, well, now you've told me you want 250. You're not welcome to bet it. But Wayne Harrison's in there.
Wayne just come on. Just come on the show. Just come on here and let's just have a chat. And you can teach us a few things. Come on. It's an open invite.
You don't have to you don't even have to tell us the horses to back in advance. You can still get your money on. You can be like Dazzler. You can just lure us in tell us after. And then as long as we can get a few quids on, we don't mind missing the value as long as we're getting the winners. Right. We've got a couple of questions that have come in, though. Before the question, because this might read him in. I don't read him in, like it's not intentional, but Michael Walker said Dave counting like Wayne Harrison. And this, people don't know if he is the man, the myth, the legend. Is Wayne a real person? Of course he is. Right. Best bet for the first day at Punchestown is the first question I'm chucking up. Mine's night and day.
Yeah, I'm kind of torn between night and day, and I've stuck 2 points. I've stuck 2 points on. I put a 2 point bet up on the column for what do we call it? Emery's horse. What's his name? Jesus, why have I just gone blank?
Journey with me.
Yeah, Journey with me. Yeah, Jesus, Wayne, I love that one. Yeah, Journey with me. So I guess Journey with me. He's against a lot of non-stayers. I think he'll improve for the trip. So hopefully,
no problem. I'll move on to the second question. I'm not vetting them, so we'll have to make sure they are questions.
Okay.
Oh, Alex has said his spelling's shit, but his anti-post portfolio is bang on, unlike Daryl's. Oh, sorry, that wasn't a question. It was just a dig at Daryl's. I mean, he's saying you got good spelling though, so credit where credit's due.
Not going to be 35 points up on an anti-post portfolio, can
I? Ian wants it too. Ian wants it to come on. I just love pressing the button. Get Wayne on.
Get Wayne on.
Glad he didn't say
when he's on the
what
they want, Wayne.
Correct, you have
what they want.
Right.
Which man?
No, it's just what Craig said. I wonder if Wayne speaks like he writes. It's the same as anyone, isn't it? I don't care about the spelling mistakes or trying to get stuff up quick. I want it in there. Craig told you which bet it was. Wayne says to me again, I'll put my bets up 26 to 500 constitutional 14k betting shop landed the biggest 2 bit Cheltenham. You did do well, Wayne, but you didn't land the 2 biggest at Cheltenham because there was a couple of people that had Constitution Hill and Galopin de Champs in bets for some big chunks. 100k some guy netted off of there. But that's not to say that you did anything wrong, Wayne. You did well. You won more money than most people did. Which Willie Mullins hot pot gets beat in the grade 1s at Punchestown? You're against Gaelic Warrior.
I'm against Gaelic Warrior. Yeah, I'm against Gaelic Warrior.
So we'll put them out there. I mean, they're not even questions anymore. No, don't forget we're all fanny betters. We're losing it now, aren't we?
We'll have to wrap it up. Unless Wayne decides to come on.
Well, that's it. But if that's it. We will have to wrap it up. Get your questions in anyway. rantingracing1@gmail.com. Send your rants in too. Wayne, it's a genuine thing. You don't have to show your face or anything like that. Even if whatever it is, if in some way we can get you on, even if it is just next week on the show, you give us 10 minutes of your time where you just go live in the comments and people can have a little bit of back and forth. I want to give you the floor. Even
if he just gives us a voice clip of fanny betters.
Oh my God, imagine that bite. Whenever we go, oh my God, when they're cropping it. Right, yeah, they were saying, do you know what's happened as well? Before we leave, we've got to do this. Luke has completely pulled us in, right? Does John Bond win? You started to talk about this at Sandown, and then you had a go at Frankie Dettori.
Oh yeah.
So, what's your thoughts on the Celebration Chase? Because I haven't gone into it in any depth, but you know how much of a fan I am of Grenetin this season, full stop. Like I thought he did all right at Cheltenham. I still don't think they would have had him wound up for Cheltenham thinking it's a Champion Chase to go and win. And I do think he'll win the Celebration Chase. Do you reckon John Bond wins?
No, I think Grenetin might win.
Do you reckon we'll get a prize? Because it'll be like Nube Negra last year, just because of the name and the
2-1 joints at the first opening show.
Sorry, what?
2-1 joints at the first opening show.
Okay, I mean, you hold the floor then, because I'm going to see if I can get any on. Are they really?
Yeah, look. Well, look, I think there's a key.
With who? With who?
Well, I've just got best odds up here. So you go 2-1 William Hill, 2-1 Bet365. Like they're obviously torn between the two who they fancy. I think there's a key piece of form, and I think you go back to the Tingle Creek when Edward Stone smashed Grenetin, and you compare it to John Bond's win over Boot Hill in the Henry VIII. The Tingle Creek field went so much quicker than the Henry VIII field, and it wasn't until after the last where John Bond got past Grenetin. And I'm just wondering, would John Bond be able to sustain that sort of pace and finish the way he did in that particular race if he up against his elders, up in open company. I'm not entirely sure, but we know that Grenadine sort of can. So I think Grenadine should be fav. John Bond, if the ground's good, would be interesting. If it's good to soft, I think I'd be swaying more towards Grenadine. I do know at Sandown as well that Paul Nicholls has said that he needs, I think it's another 80 grand or something to beat last year's total for the champion trainer. So I know he's firing a lot of bullets there. And obviously this is a day at the end of the year that he tends to target quite a lot. So,
well, yeah, he's not saving Grenadine for another day, is he?
No, that's what I mean. And I think he would have had this in mind for probably before Cheltenham, to be quite honest.
Yeah, beginning of the season stuff, isn't it? Like I know he's running that the Gold Cup and does what he does there. Yeah, I'm genuinely gobsmacked that he's 2-1. He's 7-4, quite a few bookies as well. I'll be having a good few quid on Grenadine. So there's a little.
Are you going to go?
Post in zone there. What's that?
You're going to go to Sandown on Saturday?
Yeah, probably. Like the weather looks all right. The car looks like it's going to hold up. Everyone was saying, wouldn't you, about going? So yeah, I'll speak to him and then we'll see if we can get a few of us down there. See if we can get George down there too. So any of you guys that want to be there, come to Sandown. Use the code Daryl Carter. It doesn't get you any discount, but it's just funny to watch people type in the voucher code and then tweet me saying it doesn't work. I did that on Facebook once. I said it as a joke, and I got 40 Facebook messages saying that I couldn't get a 50% discount. That was awkward. That's why I don't go on Facebook anymore. I'll be honest with you.
Right, that's it for this week. Let's wrap it up.
Can I finish with one more?
Jesus Christ. Is it going to be
only because we say only because we say stuff that we shouldn't say, and Anthony Phillips has put an absolute peach of a question in. So if you could answer this one for me, please, Daryl. How big will Willie Mullins' dick be if he takes a clean sweep on day one at Punchestown?
Right, that's enough for me. It's getting too crude.
Thank you guys for all the support. We'll be back next week. Good luck for Punchestown. Daryl's got all these tips going out through Betfair and gg.co.uk. Is that right?
Yep.
And then I'll be chucking up some daily tips. I'll be telling you what I'm backing for every single one. Wayne on Twitter, I think he is just still Wayne Harrison. So go follow him and you can see what he's backing too. Wayne, we'll see you next week and we'll see you guys too. Thanks again, guys. Bye.
Later.